Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos. And Manchester United have just beaten Brighton of Albion at Old Trafford by 1-0. And basically a lucky Ashley Young goal gets Manchester United the 3 points at Old Trafford, and now this is currently our 11th home win in all competitions this season. So we do keep that winning record up at Old Trafford now. This is 39 games now, unbeaten in all competitions now at Old Trafford. And this was the first meeting between the two sides since 1983, don't forget. And this is still, this is our best start to a season, since the 2012 and 2013 season as well. So Manchester United won the game by a goal to nil, but the performance not the best by all means. I didn't watch all the game. I only got a glimpse of like the 3 minutes of the current highlights of the game. So the goal basically was Ashley Young. It was Ashley Young. He had a shot. I think it got deflected, went out for a corner. Late on in the second half, I think it was Marcus Rashford puts the corner in, gets headed away, falls to Ashley Young. Ashley Young hits the ball, and it does take a huge deflection. I think it's off Dunk, one of the defensive players for Brighton. It come off him and ended up into the top corner of that, and that was enough to really, give Manchester United the current 3 points. But as I said, going into this game, Jose Mourinho had made quite a few changes, from the defeat to Basel, and we had a lot of wasteful opportunities in the Basel game as well, and quite a few wasteful opportunities today as well in the Brighton game. Of what I'd seen at the highlights, we know that we still had Jones out, which is a miss. We still had Bailey out, which is a miss, because they were complementing each other fantastically well early on in the season. But we know Mourinho, and we've got Carrick out still. But we know Mourinho, would Mourinho had put Valencia back in the team, put Ashley Young back in the team, so you put Valencia and Ashley Young on each flank. We saw David De Gea back in goal as well. And to be quite fair, Brighton did put a decent performance out. They've obviously now their 5-match unbeaten run has come to an end today. But all that matters is Manchester United got the 3 points, as we all know. Now we do sit 5 points behind Manchester City. They do play at Huddersfield tomorrow. So going into the game, first half, especially, Brighton were very, very good. They looked confident. They were growing into the game very, very well with Brighton. In the first half, we looked pretty poor. We looked lacklustre at the back. Made quite a few individual mistakes. And Brighton, to be fair, looked dangerous on the current counter-attack. Especially, that Pascal Gross, was creating for Brighton in the first half. He had an opportunity. Also to, what was his name? Knocker had an opportunity as well for Brighton, and some of their crosses there did play in Brighton. They looked dangerous, especially when they were crossing the ball, did Brighton. And we basically was in the back foot in the first half, and we couldn't really get into the game in the first half. But, the likes of Anthony Martial, and as crossing still needs to improve, the likes of Anthony Martial and Pogba and Rashford, we were struggling to carve out opportunities for Romelu Lukaku. We were really struggling to feed him the ball much. Romelu Lukaku, did have about 4 or 5 shots in the game. There was one chance he had that went way over the bar. There was also a great opportunity when Rashford had crossed the ball. Lukaku had headed it. It was produced a double save because Lukaku headed it, and then Pogba tried getting the rebound. So that kept us out as well from then, where we also, who else we had chances. Who else did we have a chance through? We had a chance from Lukaku, wasteful opportunity. Brighton had a few chances, of their own as well in the game. De Gea had to make quite a few saves. David De Gea didn't have to make any basically world-class saves of what I'd seen. They were just comfortable saves that David De Gea made. But Brighton did look confident in the first half. They put us under quite a lot of pressure, did Brighton of Albion. I thought for us though, I thought Paul Pogba had another fantastic game in the midfield. I thought he was very, very good, creative, and his pass accuracy was absolutely sublime, was Paul Pogba's. I thought also played well for Brighton. Shane Duffy at the back, Shane Duffy as well played very, very well for Brighton. Hove Albion, but it wasn't the most convincing performance. But I thought in the second half, especially, then in the second half, Manchester United started growing into the game a little bit. I thought we started passing the ball well, and we did have the majority of the possession, in the game. But in the second half, we didn't really cause much. Even though we come on top in the game in the second half, we wasn't causing Brighton very, very much problems. Wasn't causing them much problems. Brighton in the second half, because I thought Brighton did defend very, very well as well, but. Manchester United did get the win. It was a shot from 20 yards out. Ashley Young hits the ball, got deflected off a dunk, and that gives us 1-0, and that was enough to give us a 1-0 victory. I think if I can remember rightly, I think Fellaini come on as well in the game. I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic had come on as well. And I think, if I'm correct, I might be wrong, I think Mkhitaryan came on as well, because he hasn't been in the best of form lately as a Mkhitaryan. We did have chances of his own. I think we had quite a lot of wasteful opportunities, guys, if I am going to be quite fair. But without the goal, I think the best chance basically was Romelu Lukaku's header as well. But yeah, mainly, we got the win, we got the job done, and that's all that matters. So basically, I don't really know much about the game because I haven't watched the full match. I just got a little glimpse of the highlights, and that Brighton had quite a few chances. They looked dangerous especially Brighton on the counter attack. When they were coming into our 6-yard box. Brighton, especially in the first half, looked pretty dangerous. To be fair, Brighton did play well in the first half. Second half, defensively played well because we did play well in the second half, but didn't really cause them much of a current threat. But the own goal was enough to give Manchester United the 3 points, and Brighton will be very, very disappointed about this, basically, because you can compare the both sides. We are a rich club, a massive club with fantastic history, with loads and loads of money, and Brighton are just a club, that have just been promoted to the Premier League, and they are a very, very small club, and they'll take credit, from their performance today, from their perspective, coming to Old Trafford, and they didn't really put a bad performance out here from what I'd seen. They did cause us quite a few problems. They looked unnecessary at the back quite a few times, and they did well, and their crossing was pretty decent as well. Brighton, they looked dangerous, when they were crossing the ball. And I still think Manchester United's crossing still basically needs to improve. And I still think we need that creative winger definitely in the team. We still do need that winger. But yeah, we were struggling really, to thread balls through, especially in the first half. We were struggling to thread Lukaku out. We couldn't really feed Lukaku. Pogba did play well in the midfield, as I said. Matic did good, I think, again. But as I said, the crossing still needs to improve in the Manchester United side, because you saw it against Basel. The crossing was woeful, midweek against Basel, and that's what needs to improve the Manchester United team, the crossing. And there's still areas where we still need to reinvest into that Manchester United team. And with performances like that, it wasn't a crap performance, but it wasn't the best performance. And I said we've got to step these performances up, because it hasn't been the same since Liverpool had the performances. As I said, we had a good game against Swans in the Carabao Cup. We played well in that, but Liverpool, who were the other game? Chelsea was a bad performance after 10-20 minutes or so. Who else? Liverpool, Chelsea, Benfica. Benfica, even at home, even though we did win the game, it wasn't the best of performance. Benfica away wasn't the best of performance. Basel at midweek wasn't the best of performance. So we have got to still, even though we are doing well, we're still on track. We're still sitting second in the league. We have still got to step these performances up, because we have got big games coming up. We've got the likes of who's coming up. We've got likes of Watford on Tuesday, then we've got to go to the likes of, I think it's Arsenal, then we've got to Manchester City. So we have got games coming up thick and fast, so potentially these performances need to improve. But we are still missing Bailey and Jones, and you can tell there is a big difference, when we haven't got a centre-back partnership such as Bailey and Jones. You can tell, as defence does create a bit more, it does. Our defence does create a bit more space, for teams, to get behind, when we haven't got Bailey and Jones and that there. Because obviously we went with Lindelof and Smalling as a centre-back partnership today. Lindelof has not started much in the Premier League this season, because he hasn't been that good this season as a Victor Lindelof, as we all know. When he has played, he's played in the Champions League, as we all know. But yeah, I thought Ashley Young did have a good game today as well. I didn't think Ashley Young did too bad, because Ashley Young's definitely, being our best left back, this season. But Pogba did run the show again, didn't get a goal today, but he did do well today. Look, Lukaku did well when he got the opportunities. He did well, but Lukaku, when he did have them chances, he just couldn't finish. And I think the likes of Martial did okay, but I think Martial and Pogba and Rashford, just couldn't, feed Lukaku enough, couldn't carve out opportunities for Lukaku, and this is why Lukaku didn't score today. But it's a shame Lukaku didn't score, because, he got his name on the score sheet last week against Newcastle, good to see. But the Newcastle game was a good win. We won the game by 4-1 last week, but the difference is, guys, wasn't, the first 20 minutes of the Newcastle game we was on the back foot, and, we was inviting Newcastle forward. And today, in this first half, we were inviting Brighton forward as well. And they did cause all sorts of problems, especially in the first half, because they've got good players in that team, Brighton, who have done well for them this season. They've got Gross there. Who's done well for them. They've got what's his name, if I might forget his name. What's his name now? Yeah, Shane Duffy did well for them as well. They got Gross, and they also got someone else up front. I think Gross was playing behind him, but I can't remember who it is. Let me try to remember who this player is now. If I forgot, then I forgot. Who was it? I might have forgot. If I forgot, I'll try and remember who it is now. But I know Pascal Gross has done well for them this season. Brighton, Hove Albion. Yeah, I can't really remember, but I did mention you to him, guys, in my current preview. As I currently said. But good win. Man United got the win today. That's all we needed to do, get the job done. But the performances need to step up from certain players. Mourinho will be delighted with a win. It's another clean sheet, as we all know. 28 goals now in the Premier League this season. And all that matters is we did get the win and we've kept another clean sheet. That is all that matters. So we do play Watford on Tuesday at Vicarage Road. We'll be doing preview, as we all know. I'll be doing a preview on the game. So anyway, guys, drop your likes and comments below on the channel. Subscribe to the channel as always, and take it easy, guys. And I'll see you all later on. Bye.